and we worked it pretty hard on Tuesday to see if they'd kick it out. I had a hearing, but they just didn't bring it up for executive session, which doesn't really bode very well for the bill. Right now, I spent yesterday and this morning poking around to see if there were any other ideas for it. And so I have a couple of ideas. One is there's a bill in the Senate that's moving along, and we expect for it to be sent from rules onto the Senate floor for a vote, and it'll pass over. And that's Senate Bill 5935. It's a huge bill. It's 32 pages long. But
Tim Sheldon. Oh, I'm sorry. One of our students emailed Tim Sheldon, and it turns out that he emailed back, and so did send that entire bill to us. And so one of our students are going to come. They're going to come up and talk to you about the email they received from Mr. Sheldon.
Oh, on 5935.
On that bill, yes, and it's a Senate bill. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I was thinking that would be a good bill for you to track. The bill is really big, but I would recommend that we look at sections 4 through 9 or 10, which does just about everything that it sets up a broadband office, but it also gives it some funding, about $30 million, to do some special projects. So we'll talk about that when your student comes up.
Okay, good. He'll be number 6, and his name's Dakota, and I'll come up with him. And then we were going to read the email, and then maybe we could show up on the screen that bill and what's happening with it.
Okay, so that'd be great.
That sounds like a good plan. Okay, so Zach, do you want to come up first? Thank you, Rhonda, for being patient.
Oh, no problem.
Hi.
Hi there.
I was wondering, what is the status of our bill?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
What is the status of our bill?
It looks like it might be dead for the year. We had a critical deadline on Tuesday for the bill to move out of fiscal committee, and it was stuck in House Appropriations Committee. We worked hard to get it out, but it was just too big of a lift with $300 million. So we might be able to stick a smaller version of it somewhere else, but that particular bill probably isn't going to go any further this year.
Okay. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi there.
So what broadcast/phone plans do you think will change if the bill passes?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, look, competition is always a good thing. So especially in rural areas where it's kind of what we call a natural monopoly, it's so expensive to serve that usually there's only one choice. I think that you'll see plans come down in price, but what I will tell you that you'll see if more broadband is built in rural areas is that you'll see a lot more opportunities for streaming type of services like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, that sort of thing, so that you could catch all the different programming that maybe you can't get where you're at now. That's when it comes to video. For broadband, I just think you're going to see faster, more reliable services for
right, thank you.
less of the price. Did that help?
Did that help?
Yes.
Why was this substitution bill made?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Why was this substitution bill made?
Oh, that happens a lot. I mean, I think there was just a few little tweaks that they needed to do along the way. I think in this particular case, there was a section that some people had trouble with, but on that bill. Does that help?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All the way up. It's all the way up. Yeah.
What grant money would help to pass this bill?
What grant money would help pass it? Well, if we're talking about the bill that died, I can't remember the bill number. Let me look here. Sorry, I'm working on a lot of bills, so I get the bill numbers mixed up. I think it was, if we're talking about 2312, I don't think much can help it now. But I think that if we move on to look at one of the other bills on building out broadband, like Senate Bill 5935, I think some grants from the capital budget might be able to help. I think that there might be some federal money that comes from a program called E-rate, which gives money to build broadband to school and libraries. And if we could find a way to get that money, it's a lot, several $1 million, that could be really helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi there.
All right, I'm Dahlia, and I'm Carly. All right, and I'm going to read a response that she got. So it says, Dear Hawkins Middle School, I received all your emails regarding support for House Bill 2312. This bill was referred to the House Technology and Economic Development Committee. It had a public hearing, and then it was voted out of committee anonymously by the members of the committee. It has now been referred to the House Appropriations Committee, of which I am a member. I hope the chairman will schedule it for a hearing. I agree that it is important for students in schools to have access to high-speed internet. So much of your studies is helped by good information, and the internet allows you to search for more details worldwide. I appreciate all of your comments as to your reasons to support this bill. I would certainly cut down on homework time and having to wait for adequate speed. I appreciate your messages. It is important for me as your state representative to get input from you and know of your opinion. As the bill currently exists, I intend to support it. With kindest regards, Drew McEwen.
Excellent. That's a good response. By the way, he doesn't respond to me that way usually.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Tuesday. I'm Alexia.
Hi there.
Will high-speed internet affect the city people?
Well, sure. I mean, it depends on what you mean by city. Are you talking about Shelton, or are you talking about Seattle?
Like Seattle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they have a lot of broadband already. They've got at least 2 different, maybe 3 different providers that offer gigabit level services. But I think that even in big cities like Seattle, there's areas like Beacon Hill that is a little hard to serve. And I think that they lack some services. So even in big urban areas, there's populations that don't have the choices that that they would like. So some of the bills that are floating around might give a little money to what we call pockets, little pockets in urban areas that don't have great choices and coverage. But the bills that we're seeing now, they're really about communities like where you live. Belfair, Allen, some of the outskirts of Shelton and Mason County, to try to give better, a more robust broadband system to those areas.
Okay, thank you.
You have a follow-up? No follow-up? Okay. She looked like she had a follow-up.
Hi there, this is Dakota, and he wrote to Tim Sheldon, our
Okay.
senator from our district, and he received an email back, and it says, Dakota, thank you for contacting me regarding House Bill 2312. The bill remains in the House committee, which I am not a member of. I introduced Senate Bill 5935, a bill which will expand broadband for rural areas, and it has passed out of the Energy, Environment, and Technology Committee with a unanimous vote. A copy of this bill report is attached. We are hopeful that this is the year to make huge progress on broadband speed and access. Thank you for taking the time to contact me. I appreciate hearing what's important to you, Tim. So that was the bill that you were talking about. And I looked it up and it looked like it was written last year and didn't pass in 2017. And so this is the second year that it's been introduced.
That's right. So to give you a little background, it was introduced last year in response to several other bills that didn't go very far. It didn't get a hearing. I'm not sure if it even got a hearing last year. It was introduced pretty late, but we all worked over the interim. And by all of us, I mean members of the telecommunications industry, both wireless, cable, wireline, and other stakeholders worked on it. And this is what came up, was the substitute bill. It still needs a little bit of work. It's a huge bill. I think it's 32 pages long. And I would recommend that the class focus starting on section 4 through section 9 or 10. That talks about establishing a broadband office in the state of Washington that could help find both federal and state dollars to apply to rural broadband. It would also establish kind of an advisory committee to help direct whatever dollars we were able to find for broadband grant programs in rural areas. Questions? Comments?
No.
Thoughts?
No.
Nothing?
I'm Riley, and this is Levi. How does the sub bill help us in the future?
How will this Senate bill help us in the future? Well, I think it'll do a couple of things. I think it will really help. It will help illustrate where broadband is and where we need to build it. I think the industry participated in a big mapping exercise back in 2008 through 2010. And I think we could take those big maps that show where all the companies have their facilities to provide broadband and kind of update them. And then hopefully the broadband office can pick some areas to really focus on, so that we could get together and figure out how to best serve those areas with some grant money attached, but also with companies putting our engineers in a room and trying to figure out how to serve some of these areas that need better service. We haven't had an office like that in several years.
All right. You want to read the next one? Will everyone benefit from the internet being fixed? Like, I don't know. It's Riley's question.
Can you repeat it? I'm not sure I understand.
Repeat it. Will everyone benefit from the internet being fixed? Like, I mean, like, will schools and like workplaces also benefit from it, or just people's houses?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, there's some if there's a lot of work at home programs that people can do if they have great enough broadband access. In fact, I just heard about a really cool program. It's called Wounded Warriors, and it takes veterans from the military who have been injured in combat, and it sets them up in their home to be able to be like a virtual call center employee, so that they could take technical calls or service calls for people who call any number of companies like Microsoft or even Comcast or CenturyLink, that sort of thing. But you can't do that if you don't have a great enough broadband access at home. And then there's things like telemedicine, where if you live in a rural area, and to get to a good specialist type doctor, you'd have to drive 2 or 3 or 4 hours. Maybe you could do telemedicine where you can meet with your daughter like we're meeting here today. But I mean, even our connection today isn't great. So imagine if you were trying to send x-rays or that sort of thing, how hard it could be if you didn't have a broad enough, that's not the right technical term, if you didn't have robust enough broadband. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm Wyatt.
I'm Kyle. All right, how many like millibytes or gigabytes per second is considered high-speed internet?
Right now, what's considered is 25 megabits of service up and 3 megabits down. Or maybe I have that backwards. I get it backwards. I'm not a very technical person. But it's what they call 25 and 3 is what is the current definition. Some companies, my company goes all the way up to a gigabit of service, but a lot in rural areas are like 10 and 1, barely better than dial-up. Do you know what dial-up is?
No.
No.
Not really.
Okay, we won't go there then.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you can see fine, right?
Hello.
Hi there.
Okay, so my question was, why is it such a big problem to have or get internet access out here in Tahuya and or Allen or just Belfair in general?
So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were kind of cutting in and out. I think you were asking why is it so hard for companies to get internet to more rural areas? Is that it? No, do you want to repeat? Can you repeat?
Okay. Why is it such a big problem to have or get internet access out here in Tahuya and or Allen or just in Belfair in general?
Okay, I got it now. There's less density. So I'm just going to compare to Shelton, if that's okay, because I'm not familiar with it. In Shelton, there's I don't know what the density per square feet, but let's just for the sake of talking about this, let's say there's 100 houses for every square mile. I don't know if that's right or not. But out in Belfair and Union and Allen, there's a lot less than that. Sometimes 2 or 3 houses per square mile. In some areas, like up on the Peninsula, it's even less than that. And so imagine how much it costs to either dig up the road to put conduit in with wires or to string fiber along utility poles. That'll cost a lot of money. And so building to just one house can cost, 20, 30, 40 times more than it costs to serve in the city, which is why it's so hard. Companies don't make their investment back. So it costs them money to build out, and they can never charge enough to make back their investment. And that's why it's so hard without some sort of government assistance for companies to build. Why it takes so much longer to build out into areas like where you live. Does that help?
My name is Pedro. Yeah.
My name is Pedro, and I have a question. What is a substitute house bill?
What is a substitute? What is a substitute house?
Yeah.
That's where made in committee to amend the bill. And so the new version of it is called the substitute version. It's just a slightly, it could be changed by one word, or it could be changed by everything in the bill could be all brand new words, and it's still a substitute bill. Any amendments on a bill?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hi.
Hi there.
My name is Madison,
I'm Grace.
and she has a question, and I'm going to read the note we got from Representative Drew McEwen.
McEwen?
That's all right. Mhm.
Okay.
Here's a question.
Why will it cost less here than in New York City for broadband internet?
Can you repeat that? I'm not sure.
Why will it cost less here than in New York City for broadband internet? Because New York City costed 500 million, we cost 300 million.
Oh, I see. It doesn't really cost that much. It's that New York was able to find some money. I think. I'm trying to remember where they found. They found $500 million. Because I think Verizon Wireless, or Verizon, which is a telephone company, a regular, like your CenturyLink telephone or Canal Communications telephone company, didn't take some federal money, and New York was able to get that money. And then I think they used a settlement, some big lawsuit to get that money. It's not that it costs less here, it's that New York was able to find $500 million to apply towards broadband. It was a choice by the government to do that, by their elected officials. Here, Richard DeBolt wanted to do something similar, and he thought $300 million would be able to build a lot of broadband in rural areas, but unfortunately, it was just too big of an amount for the legislature to move out of a rainy day fund this year. So it's not about how much it costs, it's about the dollars that they were able to find.
Mhm. And the note that I got back from what I sent was, I received your email regarding support for House Bill 2312. This bill was referred to the House Technology and Economic Development Committee. It had a public hearing, and then it was voted out of the committee unanimously. Let's just carry on. Thank you. By the members of the committee. It has now been referred to the House Appropriations Committee, of which I am a member. I hope the chairman will schedule it for a hearing. I agree that it is important for students in schools to have access to high-speed internet. So much of your studies is helped by good information, and the internet allows you to search for more details worldwide. I appreciate your comments as to your reasons to support this bill. It would certainly cut down on homework time and having to wait for adequate speed. It is important for me to, as your state representative, to get input from you and know of your opinion. With kind regards, Drew McEwen.
That's a nice email. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
You remember the date that you're coming?
I'm sorry. Monday the 26th.
Okay. Let's see if we can. Okay.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I will see if Drew McEwen, Tim Sheldon, and
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're getting a lot of feedback.
Okay. Thank you for your time today. What do you recommend we do next?
Well, I think, let's look at the Senate Rules Committee. And I think we send emails to them asking them if they will send Senate Bill 5935 to the floor for consideration. Let's look and see who's on the Senate Rules Committee. That should happen. You know, they're going to be working all weekend long, so it could happen at any time. And then once it moves out of rules, we're going to want to start emailing Tim Sheldon and other members to get them to bring it up for vote and vote yes. So let me look at the Rules Committee. There it is. Here we go. Let's see who's on that. How come I'm not getting, oh, there we go. So Senator Sheldon is on the Rules Committee. So let's get some emails to him and find out if he thinks it's going to come out of rules very soon for a vote to the full Senate. Let's see. Also good to email would be, well, really any of the members, if you wanted to divide them up. Senator John McCoy would be a good one because this is a really important issue to him too. And let's ask Karen Kaiser as well. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Miss Wynn will forward our agenda for the 26th of February.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Miss Wynn will forward our agenda for the 26th of February.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, wait.
Oh, yeah. See you later.
Good.
Bye, Rhonda. Thank you.